Hello and welcome to week 2, the second recorded class for January. And last week we focused on legs. We had a lot of leg work. So I thought today we would do a bit more with the arms and the shoulders. But let's get started with our usual warm-up. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. Do 2 more. Okay, and let's tap. Wonderful, warming up that lower back. And you may want to try with the backs of the fists some circles. And then tapping down and up, down and up. Maybe giving those fingers a little bit of movement, some wrist movement, slowly warming up the joints. Perhaps even shaking the arms out a little bit, shaking the legs. And I'll put the music on for our bubbles, Caribbean Blue. Sunrise. And back relaxer. Roll it. Other way. Relaxer. And bubbles around the room. Sunrise. And back relaxer. And roll it. Other way. And shoulders. And diagonals. Head and neck. And find that beautiful end pose. Very nice. All right, I thought we would do a new dance, which is to Dean Martin's Let It Snow. Who knows, it might be snowing, I don't know, as I'm recording this. But if it is snowing, we can feel nice and cozy with this song. So the beginning of it is just this movement here. It's sort of a wave in a way. So we do some of those movements. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, we come back in. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Okay, so let's do that one more time. This is actually 2 lots of 8s. Some of you may count. And then coming in, and then coming up with Let It Snow. Great. When we finally kiss goodnight. So let's throw the kisses. How I hate to go out in the storm. But if you'll really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Wonderful. Okay, and then again we have this repetition of the beginning. Coming in and let it snow. So every time we have let it snow, we do a little bit of snow making. There's a small musical break. You're welcome to move around as you wish, or you can just follow me in a step together. You know, it's just some slow swooshy steps. Okay, and then it goes again to the kisses when we finally kiss goodnight. So I'll put the music on and yeah, enjoy this one. So let's see. Here we go.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Man, it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought me some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. And the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbye. But as long as you love me so, let it snow and snow. let it snow, let it snow.
Nice! I hope you enjoyed that one. Okay, so how about a sip of water, and then we'll play Waka Waka Africa. Give you a second for that sip of water. All right, here we go. Four slow marches.
You're a good soldier, choosing your battle.
And quick.
Pick yourself up and dust yourself off and back in the saddle.
And slow.
You're on the front line, everyone's watching.
Quick.
You know it's serious, we're getting closer, this isn't over.
And pulse.
The pressure's on, you feel it, but you got it all, believe it. When you fold it up, oh, oh, and if you fold it up, hey, hey, time,
walk in a circle.
This time for Africa.
Four slow marches.
Listen to your God, this is our motto.
And
Your
quick.
time to shine, don't wait in line, it almost was over. People are raising their expectations. Go on and feed them, this is your moment, no hesitation. Today's your day, feel it. You pave the way, believe it. If you get down, get up, oh, oh. When you get down, get up, hey, hey.
Walk in a circle. Toe heel. Change sides. Walk in a circle.
It's time for Africa. Tango, eh, eh, tango, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa. Anawa, ah, ah. Tango, eh, eh, tango, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa. Anawa, ah, ah. This time for Africa. This time for Africa. We're all Africa. We're all Africa.
Fantastic. Good work. Hope you're warmer. Maybe get another sip of water after that. And we'll start to come down. We'll start to come down in the aerobic level. So once you've had the nice sip of water, how about some tap, tap steps? right, and we'll move to the tightrope walk. And remember, putting some backward steps as well. All right, so we'll get the chair for a little more balancing. Okay, remember, most of you don't need to touch the chair for this one. Coming up on the heels and down. But if you do need to place, a finger or two on the chair, if that enables your balance, that is a good thing to do. Okay, so let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And then this time, if you're up for a challenge, hold it with your eyes closed. Now, it may really help to have a finger on the chair for this, or, hovering above. So if you do lose your balance, you can catch it. So let's try that. So closing the eyes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming out. So different, isn't it? I find it so much harder. All right, so then I'll give you a choice, holding for 5 with the eyes closed, or 10 with the eyes open. Or, super challenge is 10 with the eyes closed. So coming up for, I'll count from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. All right. I hope that went well for you. And it could be a good thing to practice at the kitchen counter. A little bit of eyes closed on the toes. All right, shaking the legs out. They've worked a little bit hard there. And then let's tap out with the legs. The challenge is to keep the top half of the body relatively still rather than tick-tocking it, which the body might want to do. So it's one thing to do it with the feet down, another thing to do it with the feet coming up. Can the body be still while the feet come up? Toes pointed forwards. So notice, this is not a huge kick. I can only do that if my feet point out. So if you are doing high kicks, it might mean that your feet are pointed out. So keep the feet pointed forward because these are the muscles we want to work. Okay. And just a few more of those. High kicks are awfully fun though. Maybe next time. Don't be afraid. Okay. All right, great. So maybe rubbing out those hips if you feel they starting to work there. And let's come for the one leg stands. So remember, bringing the weight to the leg you're going to stand on. Find that fixed point. It's probably in front of you, an unmoving point to look at. And then draw that knee up. Fantastic. Now there are different ways we can challenge this further. Of course, we can move, we could move the bent leg, but this time, if you dare, and you may again want to have the hands by the chair, close the eyes. Ooh, I'm not good at the eyes closed. Nobody look at me. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. All right, I'm the first to admit I need to do that exercise more. Okay, and then let's come to the other side. And choosing that leg to stand on, bring up the knee. Okay, if you feel relatively stable, try closing the eyes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, good. Is anyone up for a second go on that leg? I'm going to bring the leg up and then optional 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I do think that one gets quickly better with practice. We're just not used to it, are we? Shutting our eyes and balancing. Okay, so I'll put the chair aside for a second. We'll grab the band and do a little bit of arm and shoulder work with the band. So if you would like to have a little sip of water, now is a good time, and grab the band, either red or green, or whatever, color you have. I have festive colors today, red and green bands. Okay. So remember, we grab the band at the waist, abdomen in. If you can connect with the idea of your tailbone, it's the tailbone down. So I'll show you from the side. So it's kind of, me and many other people tend to stand like this. Tummy out, sort of tailbone up. So it's about bringing that in and bringing the tummy in, finding a little more of a straight line. Okay, and then we bring the thumb to the shoulder. Hitchhiking. Yeah, I'll show you from the front again. And this can also be done seated. If you need a bit more of a rest, feel free to sit and do this one. Get ready for the spring when some of us will be weeding allotments and gardens. Okay, and changing sides. So now I step on the other side, grabbing the band around the hip area and thumb toward shoulder. Remember the abs in, tailbone downwards. Okay, nice. Okay, so there's one that we don't do very often in class. I think we have done it though, but we might have just done it seated. Again, it can be seated or standing. So we'll step on the bands, And this time we grip it the opposite way to what we're used to. So we normally grip it in the ice cream cone grip with the top coming out of the thumb. But now we actually reverse that grip, you know, and grab it like this. So the band is coming out of the pinky side. So this one is does have a little bit of, you know, setting up. So the setting up is I bring the elbow back. So you see how there's a right angle there. It's like somebody took my elbow and pulled it back. The elbow and upper arm stay there. And we just bring the lower arm like a lever back. So it's a very specific sort of exercise. And the aim is to feel it in the triceps or this upper arm over here. So just give it a try. If it's really not working for you with the band and it feels awfully fumbly, you could do it without the band. So again, the elbow goes back and then it's just the lower arm that straightens. And you know, even just holding the arm in that position will make it stronger. Okay, but let's try the other side. So stepping on the band, I'm stepping on the band with my left foot, so not the ice cream cone grip, but grabbing the band in the other way, elbow back, and then the hand pulls the band back. Elbows in the same place in the, you know, back behind you, and it's just the lower arm that's moving. And ideally look straight ahead. I'm looking at the screen. That's not so great for our neck, so ideally look straight ahead as you bring the band backwards. Great. All right. So then let's do our nice shoulder opening one. So with the shoulder opening one, we have our arms straight. The band is in the upper back. Breathing in and breathing out. Really enjoying that breath here. Okay, so now we'll do a few things to open the shoulders, and we'll begin by making a little knot, tying the bands together. You are aiming for shoulder width. That's too big. So aiming for shoulder width. Let's see, I'll tie it first and then show you. There we go. A little bit bigger than shoulder width is fine, is actually good. And the first thing we'll do, we sometimes do this in class, seated or standing. You know, if you're standing, keep those abs in, keep that tailbone down. Really good for the core and postural muscles. Okay, I'm going to bring the band upwards. Oh, such a nice stretch. I hope it's a nice stretch for you. And coming down. And try it without bouncing out. Just see. See how that is for you. Do you have a preference? Yeah, coming down. And one more, with or without bouncing. I'm going to bounce. Great. And then we'll keep the loop and bring the hands backwards in the loop. Okay, so once you're set up like that, again, watch that abdomen. Don't come out like this. Squeeze it all in and allow, it's like somebody's pulling the band back behind you. Someone's grabbed the band and pulling it. So allow the arms to go further back, just as far as you can. It's very strong stretch. And maybe come down, you know, and then try again, just as far as you can. I'm quite flexible, so don't worry. I do this one a lot, so don't worry about getting your arms all the way back like that. A lot of, you know, for a lot of us, it's just down here, and that's great. Okay, fantastic. Just see, do those shoulders feel a little looser now? You know, maybe numb. They're probably looser. Okay, I'm going to show you another shoulder stretch, which, yeah, is an optional one. I'll show you once I get this unknotted so you know what's coming. Knotted completely. So I like to double up the band for this one, but that's just, it's not totally necessary. So it's this one. Now go easy on this one. If you have any injury in your shoulder, don't do it. If your shoulders are very tight, this might not be the best thing, but if you would like this challenge, that top arm goes to the sky, and then I'm just going to kneel down. This is just me trying to show you my hand. Hand flips to the back and down, like you're patting yourself on the back. And then this other arm goes straight out to the back and comes up the back. Okay, so we grab the band with both arms. Aim for this top elbow to point to the sky. So you'll feel stretch in both top and bottom, and slowly work your hands towards each other. Eventually you might be able to grasp, but again, don't worry about that at all. I've been doing this a lot for years, which is why I can grasp. But a lot of us are going to be here, and that's great, you know. Resist the urge to pull. That's not the stretch. The stretch is to creep that lower hand upwards and that upper hand downwards and the elbow pointed to the sky. Now, if that is just incredibly painful, don't do it. The sort of lighter option, which also could be a good stretch, is simply to grab the arm, either at the forearm and pull, or, you know, if you can reach, pull it that way. You know, you're still pulling that shoulder to stretch it. That may be a good alternative. Okay, but for those of us who are doing the super challenge, placing that band on the other side. Now remember, that top arm goes up, hand to the back, pat yourself on the back. At this point, you might grab the band. And then this arm to the side, fingers to the back of the room, come up. And again, elbow to the sky. We're trying to walk the fingers towards each other. If you want more of a stretch, walk the fingers towards each other until one day, you know, maybe they meet. All right, nice. Okay. If you are in this position, just taking a few breaths here. And then relax the arm. And remember, the alternative to this one was just to grab the forearm and pull. Yeah. So, how are those shoulders now? I hope they feel a lot looser. Let's have the little glass of water. We'll do a few things with the ball, and then we'll move to the Tai Chi and stretch. Let's give you a minute for a sip of water. Okay. Pulsing that ball, as we often do. Well, we always do this one, don't we? Strengthening up those wrists. If you do need to sit down at this point, have a seat and do this, totally fine. And then we rotate the ball, mobilizing the wrists. And let's do a little bit of the teapot, working the side body. Aiming for 8 on each side. Let's give those fingers a little workout. So remember with this, making each finger, it's like we're kneading bread dough, making each finger, contact the ball. And you'll notice I have some air removed from the ball, so it's not completely filled up. That makes it easier to press palms and fingers in. Yeah. Very good for the grip, very good hand and finger strengthener. And of course, we also have our coordination exercise, bringing each finger off in turn. Also great for finger dexterity. Now, some people find this just, mind-blowing. But some people, find it quite straightforward. If you do find it quite straightforward, try one hand at a time. Try a different pattern. So maybe pinky, middle, thumb, index, ring, sorry. Pinky, middle, thumb, ring, index. Try that, let's try that again. Let's all try that all together. Pinky, middle, thumb, ring, index. All right. Okay, so we'll keep the ball for the stretching sequence, but we will come for some Tai Chi. I'll pop some music on. Yeah, perhaps have another sip of water if you're like me and getting warm, and I'll find the music. Bird arms.
In these long and empty days, it's easy to feel the fool. The angry young man break every rule.
Hug that tree.
She comes to me like a high flying
And we'll stroke that giant pearl. Okay. And then we'll reverse the fountain, coming up and breathing out as we go down. Follow one hand at a time with the gaze.
These tired and troubled times, it's easy to feel confused. The angry young man, no, he will not be.
Very nice. All right, and we'll end in a stretch,
He's long and it's
hugging that big oak tree. Head slightly down. Stretch the back of the neck.
he's learned how to fly.
And then open chest stretch. You might feel your arms going further back after what we did with the resistance band. So stretching, maybe basket the hands. Maybe not. It's fine. And then we'll have a nice, making one arm heavy, bringing up the other arm. And then this arm heavy, other arm up. And let's go to the wall. So coming to the wall, front knee bent, back leg straight, holding it for a bit, and then bringing heel up and down. Changing sides. And then flattening the back. And we'll creep our hands up, stretching the arm and shoulder. Creeping the hand up. And here's one we don't often do. Fingers pointing to the back of the room. I'll show you closer in case you can't see. Fingers pointing to the back, holding it against the wall. Notice my shoulder it's right angles or slightly less. You may feel that in your hand already. To feel it more in the shoulder, walk forward. Woo. Stretches all the way down the arm. I'm going to do the second side on the door so you can see it from a different angle. Hands with fingers back. Pressing the hand against the wall. And then to feel it, a stretch in your shoulder, perhaps walking forwards. finish on the ground, on the chair. Just move this down. Taking the ball, putting it behind the back, about an inch off the tailbone, and then bringing that tummy in, looking down, pressing the lower back against the ball, and coming open, breathing in. Breathing in. Okay, and then we'll place either the forearms and leaning forwards or hanging down completely. Coming up slowly, slowly, rotating the shoulders backwards. Perhaps the shoulders come up to the ears and down. And after all that arm and shoulder work, let's bring the arm across the body. And popping the hand on the opposite shoulder, smoothing down that arm. Very nice. All right. Bringing the opposite shoulder across the body. Popping the hands on the opposite shoulder, smoothing that down. Okay, head looking down and center, or if you have no tension in the neck, slightly up. If you get any pain looking up, just don't do it. So down, and I'm going to go down and center, but if your neck is very flexible, down and up is okay. And right and left. And semicircles. Beautiful. Now let's come to the side of the chair, sitting on the side, turning to the back. Do 4 or 5 turns. Go to the other side. Very nice, and we will stretch out the legs as well. So, back here. You can stay where you are. I'm just going to move the chair so you can see my foot. Toe pointed towards nose, hands on the bent thigh, body straight up, and then I hinge at the waist. Now you may just keep looking forward. And feel that stretch down the back of the leg. Come out, and let's change legs. Toe pointed up towards the nose. Hands on the opposite thigh. Sitting straight up, and then hinging at the waist. Then rolling each foot, rolling each ankle. And the other ankle. So just in these last few minutes, let's do a little bit of a breathing relaxation together. So sitting comfortably, and then perhaps closing your eyes if you feel comfortable, or keeping a soft gaze to the floor is also relaxing. And perhaps bringing the hands to the belly, the lower abdomen, and breathing into the hands. Feeling the rise and fall of the breath in the hands. And see if you can give your weight to the chair a little more. Make that seat heavy. Allow the legs to be heavy. The feet to let go. Allow the shoulders to roll down the back like a river rolling down the back, taking any tension away. Letting go of any expression on the face. The brow can be soft. The eyes and eye sockets can be soft. The jaw can relax. The teeth can relax. Even letting the scalp relax. And then bringing a color around you that you find helpful, healing, perhaps gold, rainbow, whatever color comes to you. Bringing it around you now. Enjoy sitting in this color. Perhaps even breathing the color in, letting it infuse the body And then we will let go of the visualization, let go of any effort. And slowly come back to the room, maybe wiggling toes and fingers. Taking any gentle movements. I hope you feel more relaxed. I hope you feel more invigorated. And I hope you're doing something nice for yourself, perhaps a piece of the holiday chocolate if there's any left over after that strong workout, and then relaxation at the end. So I will see you next time. But for now, I will say to you, namaste.